Sizzle sizzle, everybody. It is your favorite culinary captivator and delicious decapitator, Chef Cade LeDuc, the main course himself, and you are watching Geeks with Issues.
You ever get the urge to just get out, hit the road, see what's out there? Maybe it's a new shop, a hidden gem, a conversation you didn't expect to have. Over the past year, we've taken Geeks with Issues out of the basement and into the wild, checking out places like Mana Crypt, Main Street Comics, and Bombshack Vintage, and meeting the people who keep geek culture alive in our own backyard. A road trip, 5 of our favorite stops, all in one place. So whether you've been with us on every stop, or you're just joining the ride, there's only one thing left to say. Let's take a journey from the basement. Today's journey takes us out of the basement and onto Main Street in Lee, Massachusetts, home of Main Street Comics, Toys, and more. From the outside, it looks like a quiet little shop, but step through the door and you're surrounded by decades of pop culture, comics, collectibles, trading cards. It's all here. Whether you're a lifelong collector or just chasing a bit of nostalgia, this place is a reminder of why we fell in love with this stuff in the first place. Hey, true believers. We're here for another journey from the basement. I'm here with Ryan from Main Street Comics.
How are you?
Tell me a little bit about the shop, man. How long you been here? A little bit about it.
So the shop's been here for about 2 years. It's always been, I've been a collector my whole life, so it's always been my dream to open up a shop like this, kind of in the back of my head. It's kind of an excuse why I've accumulated so much, I like to say. First round of product that was in here, I filled this store about 90% with stuff from my house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is, good and bad,
That's
I guess.
awesome. That shows you geeks. If anybody tells you to stop collecting all your random weird stuff, don't do it.
Keep it.
Don't do it. So what do you think, what do you sell the most of, man? Is it comics? Is it action figures?
So comic books are always a big seller here, between new stuff, old stuff. But it ebbs and flows. There's days when comics will be the main seller. Next day it'll be action figures. Some day it's Pokemon cards. It kind of ebbs and flows. There's never one category that's jumps over the other one, but at the end of the month, it ends up being it's comics.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
One thing I know that I've seen that people have been having trouble with, and I have trouble with myself just working in a retail store, is keeping things like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering in stock.
Yeah.
Do you have trouble with that? Like, is
Absolutely.
Pokemon just flying out the door for you?
Yeah. So small stores like us feel the biggest impact from, product getting hot like that, especially a store my size. So our allocations are generally pretty thin. So we try to keep as much back as we can so everyone has a chance. So we put limits on everything.
Oh, yeah,
and, do the best. But, with dwindling products, eventually you run out. So we're always trying to resupply. I have a good network of people that, are selling product to me. So be able to keep going, but not where I want to be with some of that stuff.
Is there anything in the store that you think is like the most coveted item you have, or maybe the most expensive item you have?
Well, we have a lot of expensive items, but coveted things move in and move out all the time. So when something, big leaves here, we get other stuff that just happens to fall in our lap. Like recently we got some carded Star Wars, vintage Star Wars figures. It just so happens that when we sell cool stuff just happens to come back.
Every corner of Main Street Comics has something waiting to catch your eye. 60 long boxes of comics line the back room, a treasure hunt for every era of storytelling. The walls are packed with G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, Godzilla, Marvel, DC, and more. A roll call of heroes and villains from across generations. New issues hit every Wednesday, and their pull list service keeps collectors ahead of the game. Then there are the display cases, filled with vintage toys and rare figures that blur the line between memory and museum piece. This isn't just a shop. It's a celebration of what makes geek culture timeless. So, as far as being a geek, clearly there's things you enjoy here, everything I'm seeing in front of me. Is there anything someone might have a hard time believing you're a geek about, or a hidden thing?
I guess I'm really into plants and birds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I have a horticulture background, so I just that was where I started. So I always have a little bit of geek for it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You understand what it's like to have something that's precious and nurtured a little bit. I feel like you take care with comics and things like that.
Yeah.
Both things you would put white gloves on for.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also a huge football fan.
Would you say you're Marvel over DC or DC over Marvel?
Right now, my readership is primarily DC. I'm more excited about what DC's doing right now. Yeah. Not to say Marvel isn't producing some good stuff, and there's tons in the independent scene right now that are fantastic. But I'm just most excited about what DC's doing.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they've got coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see your board up here.
Yeah.
New comics and new things like that. As far as community events, do you have stuff that goes on every week?
So we just were able to join like Wizard Play Network, Pokemon Play, so we're just getting our way out here. We do have table space. I offer free play every Thursday. Come the winter time, we do pre-release events for Magic, pre-release for Pokemon, One Piece. So yeah, we always populate our event calendar with all the card games. And Warhammer, not so much. Some Blood Bowl a little bit, in the winter time. But pretty much I leave my tables open on a daily basis for anyone who wants to come in to play. If you come in here on a Saturday, there'll be a bunch of dudes hanging out here. We're rapping, watching a movie. There might be someone playing in back. We just like to have a chill atmosphere.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because Saturdays are real fun. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are fun here because all the regulars come. We all hang out. So.
Being a kid, man, I remember the weekends were for going to the local card store, trying to get whatever I could get.
Yeah.
Trading comics with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good memories for everybody, man. I feel like a lot of people need a place like this.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna give it our best shot to stay around for a while. So.
Well, I mean, we'll definitely be back. We'll definitely be keeping in touch for things.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Excellent, man. That's our stop at Main Street Comics, Toys, and More. A small-town shop with a big-time heart for collectors and fans alike. Huge thanks to the team here for letting us explore and geek out for a while. If you enjoyed the trip, stick around. Comics and wrestling. Two worlds that on paper shouldn't make sense together. One's got bright colors, tight costumes, wild storylines, and over-the-top characters. So does the other. That's where Michael Kingston lives. The guy behind Headlocked, a comic writer that doesn't just borrow from wrestling culture, but celebrates it. He's built a universe where the drama of the ring meets the storytelling power of the page. It's raw, funny, heartfelt, and full of suplexes, both emotional and literal. Today I'm talking with Michael about what happens when you stop waiting for your favorite stories and start creating them yourself. Because sometimes, the best origin story is your own. Michael, how you doing today, man?
Doing great. New York's always a marathon, so we're just getting started, trying to pace ourselves.
So last time we talked, Friday Night Bigfoot was still in pre-production. How's it been going with the book, man?
It's great, man. The response has been phenomenal. We've been pulling in a whole bunch of people from the Bigfoot community. It's been really, really good. It's a whole bunch of people that are getting exposed to Headlocked and Vampiro and everything else that never had a chance to, never really kind of came into their orbit. So it's been cool in that regard, but also everybody loves it. It's a fun thing to write. I'm working on issue 2. It's a lot of fun. It's funny, I just came from here, but I just basically agreed to a collab with Paul Walter Hauser. So
oh, that's awesome, man.
I haven't even told my wife that yet. So
have you seen the match he just had at Ring of Honor?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, great. That was incredible. I believe they were chanting "You're a wrestler" by the end of it.
Oh yeah, no, he's awesome, man. It's very cool to see him because he obviously loves it. He doesn't need to do it, right? Dude's got an Emmy, right?
Yeah.
He's out there, and that's the thing about all of this stuff, right? Anybody that makes comics is probably making comics because they love it. Obviously, everybody wants the Robert Kirkman thing, but that's one dude, right?
Right.
99.9% of the people that make comics just do it because they love it, right?
That's one thing I've noticed is the crossover between, let's say indie wrestlers and indie comic artists. That hunger is still there. That love is still there. And it's just really cool to see people on that level still have that level of admiration and love and respect for what they do.
I think you have to, right? I think everybody that's consumed a product, of entertainment product, has consumed something that was made for money and something that was made for love. And sometimes those things can dovetail, and that's right. I always use Deadpool as the example, right? They did the Wolverine origins, right? He's got swords for hands and his mouth's own shit.
Oh yeah.
It's not Deadpool, right? And everybody hated it. But Ryan Reynolds liked the character, and then he did it right, then he made $1 billion. So like, there is that sort of sweet spot too, where love and money can come together. But like, you know, when you're watching something that's been hacked out for $1, and when somebody's heart isn't in it,
Oh, yeah.
versus people that are making stuff because they love it. So we have a panel tonight. It's Headlocked and Master Republic, taking stories beyond the ring. Just talking about wrestling and pop culture, how they influence each other, and then some of our projects, because obviously neither one of us produce wrestling. We produce products involving wrestling, but, you know, so it's sort of, you know, and then we've got artists and we've got some storytellers and some wrestlers and whatever. So like, just talking about all of it and how it all, you know, intermingles into the lovely stuff that we make.
Beautiful little goulash.
Yeah. That's a great, I like that.
Well, thanks for talking to us, man.
Yeah.
We'll share a little bit of the panel, but hopefully we'll talk soon, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Come by, brother. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
It became clear to me at some point that nobody was ever going to make the wrestling comics that I, as a wrestling fan, wanted to read. So I just made them myself.
I got a question, Mike. When you and I worked on a story together, we did a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
What did Ric Flair do with you? What comic book creative ideas did Ric Flair bring to the table?
I mean, I think it's really obvious that a lot of my character is heavily influenced by Tank Girl. I always thought that she was so cool, and I've always been a fan of like that artwork too. She's punk rock, she's loud, and like I always had the helmet, but then I saw this tiny tank at Walmart, and I was like, oh, this is how I complete it. This is how I become wrestling's Tank Girl.
And I just fell in love with, much like science, the technical wrestling, that artistry, I fell in love with this artistry. And that was the period where I wanted to be, I want to be a comic book artist.
I just saw passion. And like when I saw Shotzi go through the rope into chairs with my kid, we turned around and said, great parenting to me.
As the panel wrapped up and the crowd filtered out, one thing stuck with me. Every person up there started in the same place as the fans in those seats, full of ideas, unsure where to begin, but hungry to try. That's the magic of fandom. It's not just about consuming what we love, it's about being inspired enough to build something of our own. Whether it's a comic, a match, a costume, or a community TV show filming in a basement somewhere. Geek culture thrives because people refuse to keep their passion to themselves. So if you've ever dreamed of making something, anything, this is your sign. Pick up the pen, lace up the boots, grab the mic, because the next story could be yours. Welcome back to Journey from the Basement, where we crawl out of the shadows and into the spaces where geek culture lives, grows, and thrives. Today's stop is a big one, Mana Crypt's brand new home on West Housatonic Street in Pittsfield. And let us tell you, this is not your average card shop glow-up. This new Mana Crypt is bright, open, and absolutely packed with discoveries. Every corner has something cool waiting to be found. Whether you're digging for cards, checking out tabletop gear, or just soaking in the vibe. The first floor is a clean, spacious retail haven. And upstairs, an open, welcoming tabletop gaming and tournament space that feels like it was built specifically for community. With easy access, plenty of parking, and a location you can't miss, Mana Crypt isn't just bigger, it's better. And for geeks in Berkshire County, seeing a community gaming hub not only survive, but grow like this, that's something worth celebrating. Hey geeks, welcome to another Journey from the Basement here on Geeks with Issues. We told you we'd be back, and here we are. We're at the brand new Mana Crypt location. We're here with Chris. Chris, first of all, congratulations on the new space, man.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about what necessitated the move.
So, as you saw last time when we were there, we had a lot of stuff, and the old building was getting to the point where we just couldn't fit anymore. And there was demand for more play space, there was demand for more product. So I'd been looking for a place to move for a while. Finally decided to take a look here since it had been closed for a while, and turned out that it worked out well for us. So
Yeah, it's a very cool layout. You guys will see it as we kind of take a walk around, but it's a really cool layout in here. I was just saying as I walked in, I had memories of this building from when I bought my first BMX bike way back in the day. I'm sure you've heard stories from other kids in Pittsfield and stuff that have come in. Tell me about what you're doing with the space.
So right now we have all of our retail areas on the first floor. So all of our products for sale, our registers, things like that. And then upstairs we have all of our play area. So we now have 10 tables for wargaming. We have seating for like 60 people in the TCG area. So all of the room, we should no longer have any issues with housing anybody who wants to come and play. We have a full basement that right now is just being storage, but long term we want to make a couple of private D&D rooms.
So what are some of the things that you have planned for some of the spaces? Like if I was going to rent that space, do you have any ideas of what you will do with that?
So essentially, I want to have the rooms to be able to seat like 10 people comfortably. There'll be probably 3 of them based on the layout. So ostensibly they'd be for playing D&D, or other role-playing games. But if you just want a cool themed room to rent for a party or something, they'd be available for that as well.
Oh, very cool.
So, it's probably be a big table, bunch of chairs, some scenery and things to use in your games.
Now, I know you have scheduled events. Do you also have just like open table hours?
Yeah, so anytime we're open, if you want to come in and use the tables, that's certainly welcome. Barring a massive event or 2 going on at the same time, there should always be room at this point. It's just a simple table fee for anybody coming in to use them.
What is the most popular thing people are playing right now?
Most popular thing people are playing right now is still Magic, mostly Commander. Our Thursday night Commander events, regularly have 20 to 30 people playing Commander all at once. Warhammer is still big, especially now that we have plenty of tables. That's becoming more and more popular in store. There's a Blood Bowl league going on right now, which is basically Games Workshop version of American football, but where you can injure each other and cheat.
Very cool.
So that's been a lot of fun. We've got a bunch of new TCGs going. We now have room to do Riftbound, One Piece, Gundam. Oh, wow. So we can run all of those various events alongside each other.
For somebody who's just getting back into Magic, I found it a little intimidating. I've been kind of just building decks around the house the way I used to before I ever even played Commander format. So I have a bunch of just 60 card decks that I have right now. What do you recommend for someone who's trying to get back into Magic? Like if I come to a Magic night, is there a different range of abilities?
Yes, we've got plenty. Even on our Commander nights, we have people playing pre-constructed decks. We have people playing fully constructed decks. So there's a range there. But also getting back in, draft is always a great way to do it.
Cool.
Because you can come in, you get the packs, you're building the cards from the cards you draft. You take them home at the end of the night, so you're building your collection at the same time. We do that on Friday nights. That's, again, probably the simplest way, because you don't need anything, you just show up and play.
Well, definitely something I'm going to have to check out. Geeks, thanks for being with us. We're going to wrap things up, and we'll give you a little bit of a tour here. Thank you. Spaces like Mana Crypt don't just happen. They're built with care, passion, and a real love for the community. From the light-filled retail floor to the expansive gaming space upstairs, this new location feels like a promise kept to local geeks. You belong here. Chris, the owner, continues to be exactly what you want running a place like this. Friendly, knowledgeable, and always ready to help, whether you're a longtime regular or walking in for the first time. He and Mana Crypt are true assets to Berkshire County's geek scene, and we couldn't be happier to see them thriving. This has been Journey from the Basement, celebrating the spaces that bring us together, one game table at a time. We'll see you next stop. Hey geeks, Trevor here with Journey from the Basement. Today we're in downtown Pittsfield at Bombshack Vintage, a shop that's pure nostalgia. You'll find vintage clothing, old school video games, and collectibles you didn't even know you needed. This is a spot built for anyone chasing that geeky treasure hunt. Buy, sell, trade, or just hang out and dig through the racks. Bombshack has that energy that makes you feel like you're back in your first comic shop, discovering something awesome. If you're in Pittsfield, this is a must stop. Alright, true believers, this one's special. Bombshack Vintage isn't just a store. It's the brainchild of pro BMX rider and local geek Jake Seeley. Instead of picking one passion, he threw them all together. Video games, music, skate culture, vintage style, and turned it into a space that feels like walking through his personal mixtape. One wall has a Star Wars tee, the next has a BMX bike frame, and somehow it all fits. That's the beauty of it. Bombshack isn't about one hobby. It's about celebrating all the things we love in one spot.
I'm here with an old friend of mine, one of my best friends, professional BMX rider, former real street competitor, right?
Yes,
yeah. And owner of Bombshack Vintage here in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Man, the first thing I want to ask you is, do you consider yourself a geek?
Yes, most certainly. I mean, if I'm surrounded by this stuff, I'm a geek. So.
Yeah, I see a lot of stuff here, man. So you're probably a kid like me of the 80s, the 90s. I see Game Boys, I see posters, I see Nikes, definitely Thrasher sweatshirts, stuff like that. So would you say that being a geek has contributed to the type of style that you have at the store here?
Yeah, it's made me like passionate about these certain things, you know, like just like the nostalgia, like from you said, like the Game Boy stuff to like old music we used to listen to, like old sports teams, like any of that stuff. Like the marketing, the branding was like shoved down our throats. So like if you weren't, it was pretty hard not to be part of it or be interested in it in the time, you know. So
absolutely,
yeah, I'm definitely a geek with this stuff. I love being surrounded by it.
If there's one thing you had to say was your geek passion overall, I mean, besides what you do for work, that's a passion.
Yeah.
But the thing you geek out for the most out of everything you have here, what would you say?
That's a strange one, but like I'm a huge Looney Tune head.
Looney Tunes,
like
dude.
I grew up pretty hard on Looney Tunes, and like just the humor, just the illustration, everything was so like, I don't know, it hit so different and so right. Like I feel like that's when the cartoons were really on point, and they really like had messages of all sorts.
Talk about branding. That's one of the things I think that I've seen the most. I mean, you see like, Bug Funny, the Space Jam, and Comeback Alone, dude. Those vintage jerseys. I'm sure if you haven't sold them here, I'm sure you've seen what they're going for.
Yeah, no, they're going for a dirty penny for sure. Yeah. It's crazy. They had branding with WWF type stuff. They had branding NASCAR. They had fishing stuff. They had monster trucks. Like anything Looney Tunes could get their hands in, they were trying to market and brand.
Yeah. So would you say being a geek today is like it was when we were kids? Do you think it's okay to be a geek now?
I think we've made it cool.
Yeah, I think so.
I think even like the younger generations are seeing how cool this stuff was, and like us geeking out on it is kind of like, oh, maybe I should check that out. And then they realize why we're geeking and why we're so into it, you know. And I think that's why it's going to carry on. Like that's why the 90s are going to look forever. In the 80s, like even like for like Looney Tunes stuff, that happened like way before I was even born, you know. And then I was like brought into it, you know. So like, there's no reason why I can't keep it circulating, you know.
Absolutely, man. So cool to be a geek then, cool to be a geek now, cool to be a geek in the future. Thank you for your time, man. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon.
Bombshack Vintage is more than a shop. It's a hangout. One night you'll find live music from local bands right inside the store. The next weekend you're at the skate park for a community day. Skating, music, trading gear, just hanging out. They even host vintage swap meets where you can bring your own stuff and trade stories along with collectibles. That's the vibe here. It's not just about buying cool things, it's about connecting with people who love the same culture. That's why we spotlight it on Journey from the Basement, because this is where community happens. We're closing this episode with something special. A conversation with Christopher Bigz Barton, a local artist, a community voice, and someone who left a real mark on the people around him. We lost Bigz not long after we filmed this interview, but what he shared and what he stood for, that stays with us. Thanks, Chris.
All right, Geeks. I'm here with my friend Chris. Kind of live around the block. I've kind of followed this guy's career for a while. I think it was your first CD back in, I want to say, was it 2005?
Yeah, 2000. So I dropped the album in 2003, and then it just kind of spearheaded. We kind of put things in shots. It was an independent project, which was a great project to be able to. My first project to be able to put that project out, and I did the hand-to-hand sales, which was really great. So that was definitely dope.
My first question is, do you consider yourself a geek at all?
I do a little bit, man. I had geeky times when I was a kid, man. I wasn't, I wasn't the best, outgoing kid. So I was kind of like this introvert a little bit when I was a kid. And so very much into Thundercats, those type of things. So yeah, man.
So you were like me, man. Like when I was in school, I wasn't really speaking to anybody. Right. But when I was back home, man, I was the Green Power Ranger. I was the White Power Ranger. Right. Or I was watching. For me too, a big one was Batman the Animated Series. Yeah. So that was like a big one too, man. But like, so has that ever played into your career at all? Like, have you ever had rhymes where you kind of like reference anything from like your childhood? Like,
I do, man. I talk about there's a song that is called My Story. It's been out for a couple of years, but it basically gives you a basic drop of what my life was like as a kid growing up in Texas. And then, even more recently with the new project, I talk a little bit about my life and what my life has been like. Okay. And so with my music, that's what I do. So I try to give people a little bit of insight into myself. I think that it's, to me, it's more artistic. Okay. To put yourself in the records, and so that's what I tend more than talk about things that are fantasy or things of that nature. I mean, don't get me wrong; those are great records that people do, but I tend to less try to stay in the real world with things and talk about real things. So yeah, definitely. I do think that it requires you to be a little more serious, especially when you're speaking in depth about your life and as you see things from your perspective. Okay. But I also have those records that are on my album that are very funny. So yeah, I tend to borderline. Most of my material is definitely material that is geared towards real life, but then there's those records that are really funny.
No, I got you, man. So it's kind of like where, like, I don't know, like I'm a big Jurassic 5 fan. So like Jurassic 5 has like, you'll have, one track's about like basketball, like the game. Whereas the next song is like what's your contribution to life? Right, that kind of thing. Right. Yeah.
And so I have, we were talking along the lines of geekness. So I've always thought of myself as Superman. And so it's funny. I came when I I would say about a year ago, I put a track out called Superman, just because I was so in love with that character and who he is, and so I became the modern day Superman in the rap world, so to speak, with that track. So yeah, man, like I said, my music tend to be more traditionally this thing where you are serious, but then I have no. Superman is definitely one of those tracks.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's kind of a joke.
Well, I feel like Superman has always existed both in the geek world. He was like my entry point. A lot of people also in the mainstream world, like you hear athletes talk about being a Superman. Yeah, you have Shaq, who always had Superman logos
everywhere. That was his big mantra, man. When he was playing ball, he was just a Superman. And so yeah, I like I said, I kind of felt like for myself. It was my way of taking on it in the rap world, so to speak, because I like I said, I've seen so many celebrities do it, and so many people talk about it, and it's kind of like you said, it's one of those things that from your childhood that you never really let go. That's it.
I mean, it's, you know, you get like, oh, dude, I'm still making the same noises that Ninja Turtles made.
Right. I still watch that, bro. As a matter of fact, I think that they're about to do a new movie, man. And so I take my kids to see, you know, animated series and things like that because I think they're really great.
They have some of the top-selling games right now. I just got down on a Switch game for like.
Oh, really?
We'll have to play.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So would you say, we'll bring it around to the last question, would be, do you think today it's cool to be a geek, whereas compared to when we were a kid, it might have been like the outside thing to be a geek?
I think it's gotten more cooler because there are even in hip hop, there's guys who identify with being true geeks.
Absolutely.
And which I think it's a great presence to have. It gives the counterbalance to the gangster life. If you have somebody who's just talking about their normal day life or eating cereal or things of that nature, which I think is really dope. There, you can create a record about eating cereal, bro. For me, it just seems that type of thing. Your talent is way out there to be able to pull in people and make. It's one thing to create the record, but it's another thing to have people buy into the record about you eating cereal, bro. So, and like I said, it can happen with a lot of artists, a lot of artists that I know. I think that there's room for everyone. Inclusion is definitely something that we need more. I think that people who are in this industry are starting to see that there's more than one side to a story, and that all stories, in my opinion, should be welcomed because you never know who they're going to touch, who they're going to awaken, who they're going to help.
All right, well, man, I appreciate your time.
No, definitely appreciate you,
we'll definitely
brother.
have to keep in touch, man. We'll probably have to do some more interviews over time because the geek world keeps growing. Just
That's
like
right. That's
growing,
right.
Man.
And yo, man, I hope that all of y'all tune in to my boy and take a look at this whole brand new show that's kicking off. Because bro, it's going to be happening. Definitely going to be dope.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
We'll see you.
Yes.
All right, man.
You gotta blow on it. You gotta blow on it. I used to think anything was possible. I thought that I could be a king or Caesar. But I don't need all of that gold or silver. That's how I know that I'm a true believer. Wanna climb the corporate ladder, TPS reports, politics and schemes. Thanks to my chainsaw, my cubicle is firewood. Now I'm living in a basement of dreams.